Okay, the title. Okay, we're off title: an intelligent recommendation platform that utilizes artificial intelligence to drive people to make better food decisions. I designed a program that was built to take in an input restaurant from a Yelp page and output the three worst reviews on the restaurant and to highlight some of the potential flaws and to output a better restaurant. The pros of this program is that it gives accurate predictions based on info given. So it uses a specific method of calculating the output that makes it accurate. It picks only the worst reviews as a reason. It can highlight the absolute worst. It can highlight the worst flaws of the restaurant. And some temporary downsides to this is that its predictions are currently geographically inaccurate. So this project was designed using a lot of coding languages, many concepts, and some Python and a lot of libraries. We use some HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Python for designing the site itself. We use the concepts to design. We use some of these concepts to design how the predictor works. And we use the Python libraries to build some of the functions of the program. So I used HTML to design the interface for the project itself. As shown in the picture here, this is the interface on the left we have the HTML logo on the HTML logo. On the right we have a picture of what the interface looks like, and some code that was used to make this interface. And then we use CSS to make this, and we use CSS to kind of fix up. We use CSS to design the layout for the program itself and to make it look better. So here we have where it outputs all the review. So here's where we have all the outputs. So we use CSS to design where the outputs would be. We use CSS to design where the outputs would be shown. And here we have a snippet of code from designing this. And we use JavaScript to design the buttons and the input parameters and the input bars that we put the name of the restaurant and the address inside. And here we have the code for the buttons and the inputs itself. And linear regression. One of the coding concepts I learned was linear regression, which is getting one output from one input. This is similar to a basic x and y graph. This was planned for future use in the case of to make the prediction more geographically accurate. And we use vector regression, which is getting an output from multiple inputs. We use this to design the predictor with the categories of the restaurant being the inputs, and the output being the better restaurant. And we use data scraping to build the program as a whole. The data scraping is basically getting code from other sites to use it as. Data scraping is basically getting code from other sites to use it in the program, and we use this to build the data scraper file, which was to add to the database, and for processing the inputs and outputting outputs. And here are some of the Python libraries. We use matplotlib, which is a graphing library and we use this to construct the predictor itself, and we use this to develop the predictor, and using vector regression with the output restaurant as the output, and then the inputs and the categories as the inputs. And we use Beautiful Soup for making Beautiful Soup, which is a data scraping library with many different kinds of functions to make the process easier. We use this to make the manual data scraper file that we use to add to the that we use to add info to the database. And then we have sklearn, which is a machine learning library, and we use this to build the build the predictor file, which would output the better restaurant. And CSV is a Python library and a type of Python file. We use CSV to write. We use CSV files to write data into. So CSV is a Python library that allows us to write inside of files, and we use this to build the database where we get the outputs. That was all I prepared.